Good morning, everybody. It's Craig Bennett, aka Cash Keg with DFSArmy, and I'm here to do a super draft video. If you notice, the contests have got a little bigger here. We got some really nice slates today. There's been a lot of overlay. If you want to be profitable in DFS, you got to look for things like this and try to find edges any way you can. And if there's overlay, attack it. Again, we have projections over at DFSArmy. If you go over there and sign up using promo code CashCake, save 10%. You get those as well with everything else that we got going on. I'm going to do this video and just kind of show you a few plays that I like on the slate. And then just talking about a little bit. Again, they have two contests. They got a $4 entry with $3K up top and a $15 entry with $15K up top. So two really nice prize pools that you can jump in today. And again, if you like these videos, hit that thumbs up button for me. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on those notifications. And I will keep pumping videos out like this. And if there's anything else that you want, put it in the comment section. And I will do my best to get it out. But with that, let's jump right in and check out some plays on Super Draft. Here we go. I have the $4 pulled up right now. Again, they have two really good contests tonight. Again, massive 11-game slate. If you haven't watched, I did a first look video if you kind of want to go game by game breakdown. Knocked that out this morning. But this one, we'll just talk about some plays at each position at the guard. So over here on Super Draft, you can play 3 guards, 3 forwards, and 1 center. And again, I'll just kind of go over and talk about a handful of plays at each position that I like. And if you don't have an account at Super Draft, down in the comment section below, I'll put a link down there. As also use promo code ARMY and get yourself a little bit of a deposit bonus. So with that, let's just dive right into this and kind of see some plays that we like. Again, we have all these projections over at DFSArmy. If you want to head on over there and see what we have on tap. So again, 3 guard positions in center. Let's kind of start at the center position a little bit. I always like to start on this position in FanDuel as well because you can only play 1. So why not start here? And one thing about Super Draft that's great is it's all about the multiplier. There's no salaries at Super Draft. You're not trying to worry about building massive, worry about salary construction or anything like that. You just play the best 7 guys you think they're going to score the most with their multiplier. So we'll start over here at center and kind of see exactly who we're liking here. And I'll name a few guys that I like. I think the first one, now Jokic is always going to be in play again, but they're playing OKC. It's only a 1x multiplier here. I don't like that with that multiplier. I tend to like the plays that are around the 1.2 to 1.4 multiplier. Sometimes, of course, we'll have a guy that's out that's like a 1.9 or something where you're just going to want to go heavy on him because he's in a situation like that. And I think there's one guy that you can play at both the forward and the center spot, I think. And that's, I'll just mention him, but Plum Dog has to be out and Griffin has to be out. And that is Stewart here because he's a 1.95x multiplier. He ended up putting up almost 30 fantasy points last night. They're on a back-to-back. It's a rough matchup against Boston, but if both those guys out, he's like one of the only few big men that they have on the slate. So again, it's all about the multiplier. If those guys are out and he can get us, 30 fantasy points, then he's going to score close to 60. But both those guys have to be out. If Plum Dog is in, you can't play Stewart at all, especially on this site. They're more of just a DK play. But over here, you can't look at it. I think the guys you're going to look at, again, against Sacramento, Aaron Gordon's been out for a while. There's a lot of guards that are questionable as well. So there's a lot of ways you can go here. So I think I like Vucevic at this 1.2x multiplier. He can put up 50, 60 fantasy points, and you put a 1.2 multiplier on it. You could talk anywhere 65, 70 fantasy points. So you don't always have to go for the massive multipliers. You can go for guys like this. So I love Vuce. Another guy that's got a good multiplier I think you can look at is Enos Canter going up against Cleveland. I don't mind him at 1.65x. If he puts you 35 or 40 fantasy points and you get that 1.65x multiplier, again, you're looking at well over 60 as well. So you want to shoot for, points over 60 or 70 with these multipliers. And sometimes you got to look for guys like that. So I do like Cantor as well. Again, other areas I think we can look at for multipliers that have upside. I think Jakob Poeltl at 1.75x, no LMA, going up against Atlanta. I don't mind taking a flyer at him in tournaments. I don't think a lot of people will be on him. And if he can run into a 40-point game, oh man, he's going to have a monster game. So a guy that I can look at as well. Again, another guy, Al Horford, 1.65x. They're going to be shorthanded again. The only problem with Horford is they're big time dogs here, and if they don't keep this game close, he's going to be one of the first guys to sit. But if Roby ends up sitting, they're going to be really shorthanded. If the game stays close, he's going to be shooting a ton. So he is that 1.65x. Another guy that has legitimate 40, 50-point upside if the game stays close. If not, I rough for him. But again, great multiplier on him. So I think for this particular lineup, we're just going to throw Vooch in this thing at center. Let's head on over to the forwards and start looking at a few guys that we could play in this as well. I think the first guy I really like, there's actually two, and they're again in this 1.25, 1.4x multiplier, which I think is key. I think you can look at a Jason Tatum. They don't have no Marcus Smart here. It's a good matchup against Boston. They're on a back-to-back. He should be able to do whatever he wants here. There's no Kemba Walker. He's on a back-to-back, so he's going to end up sitting. So, no Smart, no Kemba Walker. It's going to be all Tatum and Brown. I'm going to throw him in this lineup here. Again, you can play him at guard or forward, which makes him fantastic. I'm going to throw him down here in the forward position for Tatum. I just love that 1.3x because he can legitimately put up 50 spot, and at that 1.3x, you just have a massive, 65 points for over here on Super Draft. So I do love that as well. Another guy you can look at as well is the Claw, Kawhi Leonard, 1.25x. I prefer Tatum. But again, there's no Paul George here. The usage is going to be monstrous for him. Chicago is a horrendous team. It just all comes with if LaVine can stay hot, this might be a fun bring back spot. Put LaVine in as a guard and put Kawhi down here as a forward. Because if it stays close, Kawhi is more likely is going off and LaVine is going off as well. So that's kind of a fun bring back if you're building one lineup. But love this 1.25x multiplier on him. Over here. And again, I talked about Al Horford as well. Al Horford is a forward center, so you can play Al Horford in this lineup as well. He's a guy we can look at. Another guy that I'm high on, because he's going to have to do everything, is Chris Middleton. It's a bad matchup against Utah, but at the same time, he's been a great distributor, fantasy points. The minutes are going to be there. It's a close spread. 1.45x on a guy that can get you 50 just could be a monster. I think some people will be scared off of it because it's going up against Utah, and they've been a good team. No Mike Conley on that side of it. So I still think he can get a shot when he wants to. He's going to facilitate. Giannis is a 1.05x multiplier. Again, I think he's fine, but I would rather go Chris Middleton and get that 1.45x. Again, I think if he puts up, 40 to 50 fantasy points, he's going to be going over that, 60 mark, which you're looking for. So I like Chris Middleton. I'm going to throw him in this lineup as well. I just like that multiplier. And again, I'm looking for this 1.2 to 1.5x, unless it's a guy like Stewart, like I mentioned before. That's a way that we can look at. But Middleton's a guy there. I think we can look at a guy like Zion, 1.35x. I think he's in a good spot as well, going against Dallas. We know that front court is horrendous for Dallas. I don't think there's massive upside on some other sites, but over here on fantasy draft, if he puts up 40, you're looking at probably, 54, 55 fantasy points. And he has upside to put in 45 fantasy points, would put him at that 60 mark. I still think I prefer Tatum, for 1.3x. I think that's a better play. Another guy we could look at if we think it's going to stay close and those guys are out. I worry about him, though, is Jeremy Grant, as a bring back off Tatum or Brown. 1.5x, the guy can put up 40 fantasy points. It's not a good matchup against Boston, but 1.5x on a guy that can put up 40 or 50 fantasy points a night, you have to consider him. So another guy I would look at that I'm kind of high on as well. There's a few other guys we could look at. John Collins is 1.45 as well. He's been playing heavy minutes into the mid 30s here. Great matchup against San Antonio. I have no problem playing some John Collins at 1.4x or 1.45x multiplier. And then I mentioned with Tatum, and I think you can run them together here. Jaylen Brown, 1.35x. No problem running him as well. You can run them together here because they could both put up 45 or 50 fantasy points together. They're going to be the entire team. So again, no problem running those guys as well. And I'll say LeBron James. If AD is out, LeBron James at 1.1x. Memphis. He could throw up 60 easily. And if I'm going to get a guy that's going to be a 1 or 1.1x multiplier, I got to look for guys that have a shot at getting me this big 60-point mark. So that's a guy that I'll look at as well. But I want to give you some multiplier guys that I like. Let's head up to the guard section and talk a few guys that we like at the guards tonight. And again, it's all about that multiplier. One guy that I think stands out, again, you can play same with Tatum or Brown, either or. Brown you can play as well up here. I did talk about bringing Levine back if we were going to talk about Kawhi Leonard. So Levine 1.3x. If he gets hot here and he puts up a 50 spot, he would smash this tag. So a guy that I think you can look at. Not the best matchup in the world, but no Larry Markkinen, which no Porter. He's just being super aggressive, taking over 20 shots a game his last 4. And that's what we want to see out of Levine. Super aggressive, but if the claw gets on him, maybe it's a guy, Kobe White is the guy that benefits from that, and we don't want to go Levine. But again, I don't think people will own him a ton because it's going up against the Clippers. A guy that I love, Donovan Mitchell, again, going against Milwaukee. You can beat Milwaukee at the 3-point line. Mitchell gets hot. He could actually crush here at 1.4x. We're going to throw him into this lineup here. No Mike Conley, going to have the ball in his hands way more. Love this tag on him. Again, Milwaukee's, struggled a little bit defensively. They always have on the outside. Not having Drew Holiday is a big deal for them. They don't have another guard that can come and be a lockdown defender. We saw it in Milwaukee against Phoenix and what Chris Paul and Booker were kind of doing at a point in time. And Utah is a better team. So 1.4x for Donovan Mitchell is a great tag as well. Again, I love that multiplier on him. Another guy you got to consider going up against Cleveland, Dame. 1.3x, no problem playing him. He puts up a 50, 60 spot. Again, he's crushing here. We'll throw him in this because he's in that great multiplier level. And again, it's all about that multiplier. If you don't have an account, go down the description. Again, use promo code ARMY. Sign up using the link below. Again, if there's overlay, attack it. This is when you need to be extremely, if you're used to playing DraftKings, if you're used to playing FanDuel and some of the other sites, and maybe you're struggling a little bit and you wanted to find another place to try out. Everyone has something that they're good at. Maybe this is going to be your calling. Again, we have projections over at DFSArmy. So come on over and try them out. We got a room specific for this super draft that, people talk some plays in. If you ever have a question about it, I can give you my opinion as well. I'm always in there. Again, these are some of the top plays I think that you can look at tonight. Again, love that 1.2 to 1.5x multiplier, especially on studs like Dame and Mitchell and Tatum and Middleton. I think that's kind of where you're leaning at and where you're looking to go. But again, love me some super draft. I think you need to dive in and play this. And again, link below, promo code ARMY. And if you like these videos, if there's another video you want me to do on a different site, or if there's another information you want to throw out there, just leave a comment below. Let me know what's going on. But if you like this video, hit that thumbs up for me, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications, and I will keep pumping out videos like this. And again, TGIF, hope you win some money. Enjoy your weekend. Deuces.